Hey all, it's Jason again. Welcome back to another edition of Quarantine Science. Board science, science, whatever you want to call it. I hope you find it fascinating because today I have an experiment set up that involves sound. But before we get to that, I wanted to go over a little riddle I used to hear as a kid. If a tree fell in the middle of the woods and there's no one there to hear it, does it still make a sound? I'll answer that after the experiment. So let's get back to it. Sound. What is sound? Sound's a vibration of the air molecules that are picked up by the eardrums, converted into electrical signals, sent to the brain. The brain deciphers it, tells us that we're hearing something. Well, at the root of all that, the basics of it is sound is a vibration traveling through air. But that vibration can travel through walls, can travel through wood, can travel through metal, everything except for a vacuum. In vacuum, there is no way for sound to propagate because it requires molecules. In a vacuum, there are no molecules. So we don't have like this set standard for speed of sound, except for at sea level in air, which is roughly 763 miles an hour. In steel, sound can travel, that vibration can travel at a roughly about 6,000 meters per second. Now, forgive all the different units. Just know it's actually faster than air. So it kind of reminds me of the old bandits that listen for trains coming on the train tracks. They'd put their ears up and they'd perceive the vibration through the metal, and the train's coming, get ready to rob it. It's that vibration though. But everything has its own vibration. Not only can it vibrate, it does vibrate. Those vibrations we don't detect. It's the vibration of the molecule itself. And everything has its own set of vibrations, its own frequency, this natural frequency at which it vibrates. Now, when we pluck the string of a guitar or we hit the key on the piano, a little hammer comes out, knocks the string, that string will vibrate, and that vibration causes us to hear something, if it's in tune, something nice and lovely. If it's out of tune, no, I get sounds like that, or thereabouts. But that's that natural frequency. When we continue to pluck the string and we make the string vibrate ourselves and we change the frequency at which we vibrate it, when we hit this harmonic or another frequency in which we can fit that vibration nice and pretty into the original natural frequency, it's called a resonant frequency. Number one, because we're inducing that vibration. The analogous of this would be jump roping. If you think about the double dutch or just a regular with two people spinning the rope and you have one person jumping in the middle. Well, the two people spinning the rope, either end, there's very little vibration. We'll call those nodes where there's very little vibration. Towards the middle of the string or the middle of the rope, you get this large amplitude, its maximum amplitude. We'll call that an antinode. And that's the space in which the jumper jumps. Well, if you spin the rope oddly, let's say one is spinning up and the other one's spinning down, so they're out of sync, the rope will actually create a harmonic or this resonant frequency, which you kind of see the sine wave, so you see two antinodes, two spaces, and then in the middle we find another node. So that is analogous to a resonant frequency. Resonant frequency is not always good though. It's not always that neat. A lot of people are probably right now thinking of the Tacoma Narrows Bridge, except for aerospace guys. They're getting their panties in the wad because aeroelastic fluttering, That's what happened with the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. It was back in the 1960s. They built this bridge, and the wind came along one day in November, and the bridge started oscillating. And there's nothing there to dampen that oscillation, and it grew and it grew and it grew, and it damaged the bridge so much so that it fell apart. It's one of those videos that you just see it whipping up and down. But it is analogous to resonant frequencies in a mechanical sense. We can think of, I think there is a tale of Roman soldiers crossing a bridge, and the bridge failed because they were walking in cadence, and that cadence matched the natural frequency of the bridge. So without anything there to dampen it, the bridge fell apart. Well, there is a true story regarding that. Back in around the same time of the Tacoma Narrows Bridge, it's in the 60s in England, I believe, where you had troops walking across the bridge, and there's about 70 or so that were marching across the bridge, and the bridge was bouncing up and down, and they're like, hey, this is great, and they kept marching, and they kept stomping harder and harder, increasing the amplitude to where that bridge, a suspension bridge, collapsed. Lucky for them, it was only about 20 feet up in the air, and it wasn't a big rushing, raging river underneath. It was just a little bit. No one died. Few people did get hurt though. But that frequency at which they were marching was enough of a resonant frequency that it made the bridge fail. In fact, what you may see sometimes is when troops are traversing terrain and they come to a bridge, they will actually break cadence as they cross over the bridge because they don't want that frequency to be excited to the point where the bridge collapses. Well, let's get to the experiment portion. The experiment, what we have a steel plate which I'm going to excite. I'm going to lay this little rig here, which is polycarbonate. It's a little hard, there we go, focus there. Polycarbonate with some screws attached. It will go onto a speaker. Now the speaker is going to excite the polycarbonate plate and transmit the vibrations through that center screw up to the plate. Now the plate's going to vibrate. You're going to get nodes and antinodes. You're going to get some high spots and spots that don't vibrate very much. Now, how are we going to see this? Well, that's where salt comes into play. We're going to throw some salt on there, and what happens is the salt doesn't like the antinodes because it's moving too much. So it's going to settle into those nodes, and you will see patterns emerge because now we're not dealing with a single line, a single rope. We're dealing with a two-dimensional plane. So we're going to find some frequencies that match that natural frequency, and those are the resonant frequencies, and different patterns will emerge. So sit back and enjoy some of what I found, some of these frequencies that resonate with the metal plate. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that little short clip of my experiment. Now, I didn't show you the complete setup. I made a mess of the living room. Melanie is angry again. She got over it. I cleaned it up, I promise. But anyway, so let's go back to our original riddle. The tree fell in the middle of the woods and there was no one there to hear it. Does it still make a sound? It's an emphatic no, because sound is this manifestation within our brains. Otherwise, without an ear, without a brain, without that signal going back and forth in between, it's just a vibration. So if a tree fell in the woods and there was no one there to hear it, it just vibrated. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the experiment. I hope you maybe have learned a little bit about sound. Comment below. Hit the like button. I don't care because I'm not getting paid for it, but let me know that you liked it.